Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is one of my favorite things to do, as you guys know. Variety shows are always my bread and butter. Not that the regular podcast isn't awesome, but stepping outside of the comfort zone of talking about Ember Sword just so we can peel back the curtain on who we are as people always brings joy to my very big and very joyous heart. Today, we have sort of a double feature. See, I have been itching to do a sequel to Fitcast. However, with the insane busyness that our favorite rock of a man Joris is experiencing with creating builds for Ember Sword and just generally, working incredibly hard to make sure that all the bits and bobs of the code are up to snuff, the man could not make it to this episode. However, I have something equally as good, if not better. This is going to serve as an introduction to our phenomenal junior community manager, Katrine. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Yay. So, the idea of Fitcast 2 was to have a conversation about essentially the basics of fitness. In the first one, we sort of covered what we do, me and Joris, but we didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of what it's like to start and maintain it. And me and Katrine have been talking about doing this episode for a while, so I'm really excited to do this. But first, just so the good people know who you are, let's start with a bit of background. Who are you? How did you get here? Yada yada.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, I am Katrine. I 25 years old. Don't know if that matters. But yeah, I got my bachelor's degree here in January. With my major in brand design, so brand management, strategy, customer journey, and concept development. And, I was looking for a job and, I was fresh out of water. It just been a very crazy situation with the world. So, my mind space was all over the place. So I actually did fill over a tweet from Ember Sword, and I thought it was very, very nice. But then, like I said, a lot of stress on my end, so I didn't, got around to really explore what Ember Sword really were. And then a few months ago, I was like, you know what? I recall this tweet. Let me just check whatever that was. And then, I found the website and I found all the social medias, and I saw on the website and on LinkedIn that they were hiring a community manager. And I was like, yep, I'll do that. Because, nice. If you don't try anything, you're going to regret not trying. And the worst you can get is a no. So, yeah, I got very excited because I come from a family of gamers. Let's just say that. My parents raised me on both video games and board games my entire life. And I've been playing MMOs since I was 11. So, I feel like I would fit pretty good in here.
Oh my god, dude, I envy you so much. My dad likes brewing alcohol. That's his thing.
But that's nice too.
I don't drink, so at least it's a cool bonding experience. Smells like rocket fuel. I just neither here nor there. No, it is completely legal. Plus, don't fight my dad. Sure. Trust me, he is the world's last remaining true man. Anyway, once you said games, for that street cred, what are your favorite games?
Oh, yeah. It depends. Are we talking like MMOs or are we talking like overall games? Because the thing about me, I am very, very fascinated with games that has like this story-driven aspect. I want a game that gives me like all the feels. I want to feel everything. If it's sad, if sadness, if it's anger, if it's any kind of emotion, I'm in for it. Nice. Just like, Night in the Woods, Undertale, Stanley Parable, Watchtower, To the Moon, or some MMOs like Guild Wars Tour that has this very, very good story where I've been lying and crying at the floor so many times. I can't tell you about it because the story is just all over. And like I said, of some of the other games, it's just my cup of tea.
I love feels. Yeah, I love feels games as well. That shit is my jam. I would be remiss if I didn't ask, have you played any of the Life is Stranges?
Yes, I have.
Did you play True Colors?
I didn't play the newest one because I need a new desktop to game. But we're getting there.
It's so good. Not to... Okay, this might raise your expectations a bit too much. It is my game of the year so far. And that's... In the month that Forza Horizon 5 came out, that is really saying something on my end.
Wow.
Life is Strange True Colors is incredible, and I wept at points. You are going to love it so much. It's so good. Holy crap. I just want to talk about sad video games now.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't want to talk about, sad video games, I can still tell, I have my story-driven aspect, but I really, really like I said, MMOs. Mm-hmm. And I've been playing a few MMOs. I don't know if anyone knows, but Shea was my very, very first MMO, where you have the darkness and the light side, and you fight against each other and make good things for your goddesses. And I've played Perfect World International, and then we come to my favorite MMO game, Jade Dynasty. It's a fantasy game based on a Chinese novel with humans and demigods, and the humans are getting so power hungry and they want to rule everything, and the demigods are set in motion to try to stop them and prevent them from what's going on. And of course, there's a bit of love in there. So there's a human and there's a demigoddess where they kind of fall in love with each other. But again, no spoilers, but something happens. So she forgets completely who he is, and she's trying to get her memories back. So it's very sad. It's very, very sad when I remember going, around in the game, and I could see, the resting place for where the goddess were laying. And then, we could see her PC form standing up somewhere else. And if you spoke with her, she was like, I feel like there's something or someone I'm forgetting, but I can't remember who. And you can find the male NPC, and he would be staring into open space trying to find a cure for her memory to come back, and it was so heartbroken. Oh man.
That is so sad, dude.
Okay, that was sad too, but still it's very, very good.
It does sound fantastic. That's a decent bit of street cred. So now that we've established I guess the nerd side, let's transition hard into the jock side. As this is after all fitness podcast, right? So let's start with your exercise background. What is it like?
Oh yeah. Well, I've actually been very, very active my entire life. I've always been biking to school, biking to uni, and now I'm biking to work. But it even goes further back. My mom, she was actually a competitive swimmer, and I kind of followed in her footsteps, ever since I could walk. I think I learned to swim before I could learn to walk. Nice. So that's fun. And I started doing competitive swimming when I was 12. And from when I was 12 to 15, 16, I don't fully recall. But around that time, I was on the top 3 competitive swimming team in my town.
Oh,
so I got some medals at home. Did not to flex, but to flex a little. Yeah, so it was great fun, but I felt like I needed to do something else, because training 4 times a week, around 3 hours each time, that it took a lot of my time, and I couldn't really go do things I wanted to. I couldn't really hang out with my friends. So I retired from swimming, and I got into classes with a friend. So we did taekwondo, and I got to the orange belt, and then nice. I kind of stopped. But yeah, but it was also, to get that empowerment and, learn to self-defense in case bad things happen. Thankfully, I haven't experienced anything bad, but as I got to uni as well, and I was sitting down and studying so much, I felt like, okay, I have to do things. I have to go be active, or I'm gonna be very, very sloppy. So I started to go to the gym with a friend, but then she kind of ditched me. So I've been trying to go to the gym myself, and I'm trying to look up different programs and yada 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 to get fit and to get my stamina up, but I'm a little stuck. So for now I'm just basically biking and looking for fitness advice. Hint, hint, why we're here.
Yeah. This is actually awesome because your background kind of mirrors mine. I was very... The thing about giving fitness advice is that each person's body is very unique. So everybody's needs can be very different based on your background and what you're trying to achieve, and we'll get to that in a second. But thankfully, I might actually be able to help more than I thought. See, I also did a shit ton of swimming when I was a kid. Not on a competitive level, but we had a pool at my middle school, and that's where I learned to swim. And we just spent a whole time dicking around in the pool with friends. It was insane. Side note: the most fun part of going to the pool, at least in those days, was there was a staircase. We were so stupid. Thank God kids are made of rubber.
Oh no!
There was a staircase next to the pool. And what we would do is we would go to the top of the staircase and just slide on our butts as fast as humanly possible down the stairs, just rattling our bones all the way
Ouch.
down. And we did that for fun. Do you realize how lacking we were in things to do?
I mean, you said you guys are built different, but I can hear you guys are definitely built different. Oh my.
Yeah. The early we had like bootleg Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stair ass sliding. That was my childhood. Or the early 2000s were awesome.
Oh man. Oh.
So anyway, so I started swimming there, and then my mom wanted me to grow taller because she has delusions of some sort of genetic anomaly that will allow me to not be 5'2" for our American listeners, and for normal people, 1.60 m. So my mom signed me up for water polo, and I never actually got to the water polo part. That was, I believe, in the 3rd grade, so I was even tinier naturally because a small boy. So from the 3rd to the 5th grade, I swam religiously, and I got so good at the endurance part of it that to this day I can pretty much, after a couple of laps, swim indefinitely. And
oh my.
I actually got into weightlifting by way of swimming. That happened in 2015, I believe. I was in Scotland, and I was in an exchange semester, so I didn't have much to do. I only had 3 classes per week. So I signed up for the local pool because we had a massive student discount, and I went to the pool every day. And because of going to the pool, I had a very solid foundation for, getting in shape afterwards with weightlifting. So yeah, our journeys are tangentially similar. So I can probably give you better advice than I thought I would. Although I would like to make a note that what I'm about to tell Katrine, of course, is general advice that might not be applicable for everybody listening. So, even if this is supposed to be a beginner's fitness podcast episode, do keep in mind that you should do additional research based on what you're trying to achieve. With that said, what are your exercise goals?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when I was swimming, I was in such a good shape, and I could feel my muscles, and I look good in the mirror. Toot toot. But yeah, ever since I started uni, and I've been trying to get into fitness again and gym, but yeah, it's been slow. So I do want to get have my stamina up, and I do want to build some muscles because I'm a petite girl. I'm almost a twig. I need some muscles so people can move away. Not that I want to be like this big buff dude, even though I'm in Severin. I gotta be like this jungle woman. But yeah, something that like definitely define and tone my body. So you can see I have some muscles. I don't have any fat hanging around. I would be very happy if I could get rid of my bad fat on my arms. Because it's stuck, and I've been trying different kinds of exercises, and nothing really works. I do know it's some of the hardest part to get rid of, but I'm like, hey, go away. I tried everything.
Right. So, in essence, you are trying to just start with something, which I can definitely help with. So, what I would recommend is the best way you can start in the gym is learning compound exercises. Those being exercises that target multiple muscle groups at once. It is very important to start with the very basics, and that pretty much applies to everybody who wants to start doing weightlifting. If you do not know how to do what people call the Holy Trinity, which is deadlift, squats, and bench press, then if you don't nail that and get that down pat, you would have a harder time progressing forward into more, specialized, what we call accessory exercises.
Okay,
So
I think
there
I've
are
only done,
multiple.
like 2 of those, so I'm
Yeah.
already lacking.
So there are multiple resources that will teach you the correct way to do those exercises, and I believe I can send them to you after the show for context for everybody else listening. There is a fantastic subreddit called r/fitness, of course, which has, I believe, at the top of it, a comprehensive resource on getting started, on all of what your motivation can be like, what you're trying to achieve, what different exercises do, and most importantly, the correct way of doing those exercises. One thing that I would like to note that is incredibly important. It is always better to focus on form over weight. It's a mistake that I've seen a lot of people make when they start going to the gym without, a buddy or somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. The most important thing is to never, it's to never outpace your form progression. Meaning you always want to make sure that you can lift the weight that you're lifting with proper form. Because if you do not have proper form, that can lead to big ouchies. I thankfully haven't had any injuries happen to me at the gym because I've been very strict about form from day one. And even then, I have a really stupid story about almost, decapitating myself, but that's neither here nor there.
What? Okay, this got morbid super fast.
Side tangent. I did a thing called the Legion Run back in 2016. And I'd been lifting for a couple of months at that point. Legion Run is essentially a Spartan race. You and a whole bunch of other people who have more spare money than sense go out into the fields and just throw yourselves around mud and obstacles. It's awesome, actually. It's fantastic.
That sounds so rough.
But it's exhausting. It's really, really tiring because it's like, 10 kilometers or something along those lines, and you have to jump over wooden barricades and climb walls and ropes. So I did all that, and it was the start of lifting, right? And I thought, I'm fine, dude. I'm invincible. I'm what was it, 23? I can do this. I do it, and then 2 days later, I head to the gym.
So young, so naive.
Yeah. I head to the gym, and I immediately go to bench because I was doing a routine I'm about to recommend you. And I start with benching. I didn't warm up then, which was really stupid. And I just dumped my max weight on the bench after my body being completely drained 2 days prior. I start benching. I get to the middle of the first set, and then I see my left arm. I see it. I don't feel it. I see it just starting to slouch, just like going down. And I'm like, it's fine. And I continue trying to do another rep. I get to the top of the rep, and my left arm, like a deflating balloon, just starts slowly going down. And thankfully, I didn't use clips on the bar. So the weight just pathetically slid off once my arm got low enough. And then the rest of the weight slid off, and I was able to re-rack, and I'm like, I'm going home. And I left.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad you didn't hurt yourself. But that's so bad.
That's ego lifting was what we would call it, which is me thinking that I was fine to do it when I wasn't. So let's get back around to what you're trying to achieve. Like I said, good foundations are the best thing you can get once you start lifting. The other is motivation. We'll discuss that in a second. I would recommend a program, since you have a very good physical foundation, So I would say you're not quite physically in the gym. You are a beginner, but you can do a specialized beginners program, which I did, called Ice Cream 5x5. It is... I know, it sounds very paradoxical because it's real tasty. Ice Cream 5x5 is made by a dude called Jason Blaha. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but it's very easy to look up on YouTube. I would personally recommend Ice Cream 5x5 2, the second one, which he updated a while back and shuffled around some exercises. The point of Ice Cream 5x5 is to start you off with a program which focuses heavily on compound exercises, and since you are decently in shape, some accessory work. And what you essentially will be doing is that holy trinity I mentioned, although I should say that squats can be tough, especially if you are starting out and you aren't used to like checking your form. So if squats are intimidating, that goes for everybody. If squats are intimidating or you feel that you aren't getting your form down pat, I would highly recommend you substitute squats in that program for the leg press. The leg press doesn't work your back as much, but it has the upside of locking you in place, so you focus exclusively on your legs, and it's really difficult to mess up your form on a stationary machine like that. So that's one thing I would swap out. But otherwise, that is the program that got me into fitness. And that is something that you would do for around 6 months to a year, 6 to 8 months, maybe a year, depending on how much you like it. And then you can transition into something more specialized. But we'll cross the bridge when we get to it. I would actually be very willing to do a follow-up of this podcast if you do start doing this, just so we can, like, see your progress, see it happen live.
Yeah, I do plan on it, to get in shape, because like I said, I do want to get in shape and feel good about myself. So like I said, I don't want to be pumped, but I want, my clothes to look nice. I want to have a good mental health as well and physical health. So I'm definitely down to try. Like I said, I've been trying random things because I didn't know what was going on. And, I've mainly been focusing on, legs and trying to get my arms in place, but it's been hard trying to figure out where to start.
Starting isn't the most difficult thing. Maintaining a routine, I find, for most people is the most difficult thing to accomplish. Actually, this is a good point to continue on. So this is the one bit of advice that I find invaluable, that it worked for me very well. Mm-hmm. Do you have like a favorite podcast, or besides this one, of course, a favorite podcast or any audiobooks that you can listen to, anything to do while you're at the gym?
Yeah, at the start, I was listening to, Spotify's whatever workout music. I'm just like, this is cool, but like, I get super bored doing that. And then, I just figured like, okay, I can try to listen to my favorite podcast. I am listening to something called Let's Read. I don't know if you know about this, but it's a guy who is reading scary stories from Reddit. Like the worst encounter, the Christmas that happens, like scary events, paranormal activity, stuff like that. He's reading that out loud from Reddit. Let's Not Meet and No Sleep. All the good kinds of scary things. And I don't know why, but I get super, super focused when it's these kind of scary things I'm listening to, and I feel like I can just pump iron like 100 times better if I listen to his soothing voice and whatever is happening to the poor victim in the story. I don't know what that says about me, but
what is it with women and spooky podcasts? Like, most of my female friends, for some reason, freaking love murder stories, and I don't understand what. Like, SNL made fun of it a while back, and I thought, oh, this is an isolated thing, very specific. Hell no. Every single. What the hell? I mean, hey, whatever works is just, man. It's weird that this keeps getting affirmed for some reason. But yeah, so this is awesome. You have something that you can focus on, and you can put your body essentially on autopilot, which is amazing.
100%.
Here's my thing. I do not go to the gym to stay in shape. It's a big part of it, naturally, because that's the other thing. For better or for worse, I am very, very proud of my body, and I just want to be able to do. Yeah, I mean, of course, right? No shame in that.
Of course not. You know, you gotta be proud of yourself, and you gotta feel good about yourself. That is still one priority.
Hell yeah. Up top, high five.
Hey.
So the reason I go to the gym is to just catch up on my podcasts. And I've gotten my form on most exercises down pat to the point where I can listen to a podcast and just let my body do its thing because it knows what it's doing. And so the motivation isn't the working out itself. The motivation is to listen to a cool thing that I like while also, maintaining physical fitness. And that is something that I have found works for pretty much everybody who wants to go to the gym, but are sort of like hesitant because it can be very boring, right? You're just doing the same thing over and over again. So having something
very repetitive, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. By design. So having something else to focus on while you're doing that is a godsend. So I would recommend that you already have something to listen to, but that goes for everybody, of course. If you can find a podcast or an audiobook or like music to listen to while you're working out that you can focus on and let your body do its thing after you've gotten your form down pat, of course. Mm-hmm. That is how you can maintain a routine, which is probably the hardest thing about going to the gym. Like I said, it's one thing getting started, but maintaining a routine is a nightmare, especially if you don't have somebody to go with. I mean, we've all heard that it's easy to be held accountable once you're going with somebody else, and it's awesome if you have a fitness buddy. I myself have accidentally become the personal trainer of at least five of my friends over the course of the past 5 years. And it's awesome if you have somebody, but it's always nice to have a fallback plan in case you have to go on your own, and you can just get hyped for, hey, I can listen to my spooky murder story.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, given my friend ditched me, no shame, but given she ditched me, I felt like, I had to do something. I had to motivate myself. So I found these, scary podcasts a while back, and I do give them as a treat to myself. Like, hey, you did this good thing. Now you can listen to scary things. Go do that. So.
Yeah, that's
because I can relate on the scary podcast. My friends, they do wanna, work out as well, but because we finished school and now we got jobs, we have to prioritize where we put our things. And working in a game company, I'm sitting down basically the entire day. That's why I could take the public transportation, but I figured like, no, I'm gonna bike back to work and home to keep myself at least somewhat active, and then try to figure out a gym program in the weekends.
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. How many times a week are you planning on going?
I used to go with my friend. We used to go like 3 to 4 times a week. For now, I want to try to get it to like at minimum 2, but I would like to get up to 3 if possible. 4, I don't know if that fits my schedule, but at least around 2 to 3 times a week. That is
perfect. The routine that I recommended, the ice cream 5x5 2, is designed to be a 3 times a week regimen. And it can, in a pinch, it can be done twice a week, since it's essentially 2. It's not exactly a split, but it's you have a day A and a day B in the routine, and you do different things on both days, focusing on different muscle groups. Although there is overlap. in some of the exercises because they're just that important when you're starting out. There is, what do I want to say? There was a cool thing attached to it. Oh my god, I blanked. God damn it.
Oh no, Swithin, no.
Darn it, podcast brain finally caught up with me. It's just a nice split, and it will definitely help you get your form up to snuff since you'll be doing the same thing quite frequently. One thing I will mention is that you don't have to hold yourself to like strict days. What I found is that I used to try and go at a set time every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And with the advent of a job, naturally, that got more and more difficult.
Sure.
So you need to be okay with getting in a workout whenever you can, at set intervals, of course, accounting for rest. So now I try and do it. It varies wildly, but it really helps that, whenever I can find a window to do it, I just have a hop and a skip over to the gym and do it. So what I'm trying to say in terms of advice here is it's great if you can have a set schedule, but if you have to deviate from it, it is definitely not the end of the world, right?
Okay,
Sometimes
that's good.
I go once on Tuesday, and then like I cram 2 other workouts on Thursday and on Friday, since they're different muscle groups in my case. It can be very flexible, and just don't be a slave to the schedule. Another fantastic thing, now I remember what I wanted to say. Since you are getting into weightlifting, you have a very high recovery, body-wise. So especially in the first couple of months, if you stick to that routine and start increasing the weight exponentially, gradually, not exponentially. Exponentially that's too huge. You don't want to be at Miss Olympia, unless you do, of course. No judgment.
I think it's awesome that women can go and be pumped and flex all their muscles. I do just I want to get in shape. I want to have build some muscles also to be a strong woman. But I still want to have my femininity. Not that I'm super feminine, but I still I'm a woman. I do want to also feel like a woman, even though I'm fit and strong.
Yes, that is an awesome thing that you touched upon. That I wanted to touch upon the misconception of. I've heard a lot of this from a lot of my female friends, or just a lot of women in general. There's a concern that once you start lifting weights, you're gonna get too jacked immediately, which is simply not the case. It sounds really stupid, but I just feel like I should mention, especially since, we're covering beginner things here. Weightlifting will not immediately make you huge, and like, you're not gonna look like a, pardon the phrasing, brick shit house after 2 months of lifting weights. No. With the routine I recommended, with pretty much any routine that you start, you aren't going to just become this weird ditto Pokemon thing where you morph into Machamp immediately. No, you are going to maintain your figure. You are going to remain feminine. It's going to be fine. Weightlifting doesn't immediately turn you into like this fucking Super Saiyan 3 type person.
Yeah,
so
that was also one of my concerns, because all for those who want to do it, just not what's fitting my person and my style.
Yeah, no. If you just start doing it, you are going to see progress, but you are definitely not going to become just an androgynous pile of muscle. There's no risk of that. Don't worry about it. And that was pretty much all I had, actually. I think we covered everything. I mean, there's also diet, but that is something
I was about to ask if you just have small diet advices or tips and tricks for me, because I think I try to avoid any sugar as possible, but if there's something that could help me build up muscle. I've heard that chicken is very good when you're trying to get fit, but that's really everything I know. And I know there's like supplements, but I don't want to take like powdered drinks unless, I have to, but, I don't want to go to the extreme if that's what needed. But I need advice.
See, diet is something very complicated. If fitness is complicated, diet can be even more complicated. It's purely because, again, people are different and you require different things. Thankfully, there are some basics that you can stick to that have worked for eons. So are you trying to gain weight or maintain the weight that you currently have?
Gain a little bit of weight, I think. Like I said, I'm petite. I don't have a lot of muscle anywhere. Like I'm biking, so I may have like on my legs, but we're all having on our legs because we move around and stuff like that. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the classic thing in gaining weight is clean carbs and lots of protein. Like that's been true since the dawn of time, and it's what I did. So when I was starting out, I was 49 kilograms or just nothing. I was two-dimensional. And just by virtue of eating like white rice and chicken and maintaining a consistent diet of things adjacent to that, so white meat and some clean carbohydrates will always help you gain clean weight, what is called a clean bulk, provided you eat more than you burn off, which there are some... I learned to eat by using an app called MyFitnessPal. I believe it's still free. And all you do there is you input your meals, you put in your weight goal, and it tells you how many calories you have to eat per day to hit that goal. And from there, I just used that for about a year and a half until I got the caloric index of most of the foods I consume. And then once I knew what amount of calories I was ingesting roughly per day, I just stopped using it, and now I eat freeform pretty much.
Because you can.
So, yeah, for gaining weight, you just eat white meat and clean carbs. That's about it. Those can take many forms. That would require some additional research, which I don't have off the top of my head.
No, like Joris said, it's something I need to figure out, what it needed for me and what I need to do.
Yeah, depending on your tolerances, depending on what you want to do. It's the base principle. As with anything, we're not at the point of entropy yet. So you need to take in more than you expend to gain weight, and to cut weight, you need to maintain. You just need to hit a certain number, and to lose weight, you just need to eat less than you are burning, slightly less. That's about it.
Yeah. Then I need to eat more food, because I do try to eat, but if I gotta build up some muscle, then I need to eat more.
It's good practice to slowly increase the amount of food. Like you cannot just start immediately stuffing your face.
Oh no, I don't think my body can.
Yeah, yeah. I've learned that not everybody has my strange bottomless pit of a stomach, where I'm I mentioned, I'm not the biggest boy, but boy howdy do I eat a lot, and not everybody can do that. So it's
like consume.
It's about escalation. Yep.
The real Kirby right
open
there.
Mouth, shovel everything into the black hole. But yeah, so that's the dietary advice in a nutshell. Very personal, very personalized, but there are some base principles which can, apply to everybody.
100%.
That's it. You're pretty much set.
Yep, I am ready to get started.
Hell yes. And that is, unless you have any further questions from this diatribe I went on, do you?
No, I don't think so. I got the basics done, and like you said, gotta do the research, and now I have a program I can try to get into.
Hell yes. Oh, one important thing. To keep track of what you're doing, what I did at least, is I created a note on my phone, and I put in the entire routine with all of the exercises, and I just, wrote down what weight I am at on each exercise, and I just keep track of my progress that way. It's very simple, but it's, especially for those of us, meaning everybody who's listening with a video game brain, it is a very easy way to track your progress because you just make numbers go up. Yeah. And it's very satisfying to raise your weight on various exercises by just keeping track of them. Either it can be a notebook, it can be an app, whatever you want. It can be a piece of parchment. If you were the local time crier and the year is 1620, you have options.
I mean, what if I am? Haha.
We never know. Yeah, so just keeping track of your exercises that way is an awesome way to keep track of your progress while also injecting your brain with a decent dose of dopamine every time you make the number go up. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much all the advice I had to give.
Well, I thank you very much for the advice. Like I said, we have been wanting to do this in a while and talk about fitness. Ever since you figure out that I was also like going into fitness, you were like, oh my, let's talk about it. So it's good we finally had the time to do it. And then hopefully we can have Joris hyped next time, or, let's see.
The man has been on a quest to gain back what he had lost during the Rona. Mm-hmm. And I am dying to hear. I mean, he's been sending me updates, but I am dying to hear what his progress looks like, and if he has finally cracked the mecca of a 200 kilogram deadlift, which is something I will never be able to achieve. That man is huge. That is something to look forward to in the future. I can scarcely believe a human being can do that. Anyway, so this has been everything for this episode. And as is customary, let's start with the send-off. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Katrine, for participating in this excellent variety show. I did mention at the top, I always love doing these, and I just appreciate that I'm giving a platform to do this, to talk about my meathead passions with somebody who was willing to sit here and tolerate them.
It was very nice. It was very cozy.
Hell yeah.
I enjoyed it. Thank you as well.
Woo, sweet. Well, thank you for participating. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye, everybody.
Hey, you made it to the end. Congratulations. That must mean you like us enough to want more, right? Well, good news. We're all over the internet. Go to embersword.com and subscribe to our newsletter for a chance to play the game early, as well as the latest interesting tidbits on the game and the team. Join our lovely Discord community over at discord.gg/embersword. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at PlayEmberSword for regular updates on what we're up to. And remember the basics. Drink water, be kind to each other, and spread the word about Ember Sword.